Good evening, everybody, and a warm, heartfelt welcome to Paula Chichester, with whom we have a huge back history here from Luxem. Paula having been a teacher here on site in the past, and also doing many wonderful online teachings. There recently have done a series of teachings on how to understand Tantra, which you can all find on YouTube. And since we had the opportunity to welcome Paula here in our center on her Swiss tour, and also being the first teacher we're having since January when we had Robina here. So we are actually quite happy to be many people in the center, and also welcoming Paula, who is a highly experienced practitioner, having done many solitary retreats and retreats in general, and knows all about also those wonderful mahamudra teachings we're going to have this weekend, tomorrow and Sunday. And tonight we will warm up with the preliminaries with Avalokiteshvara, sadhana. And you can find the text on our webpage if you wish to download it. And those in the center, you can find and download to your device, so we don't waste any paper. And I'm pretty sure that you, Paula, will introduce the sadhana and how to engage meaningfully in it.
I think he needs one.
I need you have we have it?
Do we have it on paper?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then again,
I have it on paper.
yes, I would like to again to say welcome, Paula, and nice to meet you in person for the first time, actually. Welcome, everybody.
Lars and I have had quite a few private Zoom calls and WhatsApp calls because we're doing a lot of organizing last year. So I really appreciate, he's such a good SBC, and he actually mostly organized this whole tour with Hans. So I really appreciate his hard work, because I know he works regularly as a job and a family, and it's just so inspiring to see people's devotion to the Dharma and this little group here. So there's just a few people in the room here. Yeah, I did bring a few images of His Holiness. You can see up if you'd like to have one. And so there's just 8 of us. So this will be able to. And who's online? Let's see. Oh, there's Jeff. They have a really cool projector here. It's a little tiny little one. Jeff's my partner. Yeah. He comes sometimes. So I always like to know people's names, so maybe we could just start with that. And I guess before we do that, no, let's just start with names. Oh, I have a little present for your center.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
it's a little, maybe I can hold it up to the camera if you want.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
It's you have to hold it up like here. This is it. You can't read it, but I'll read it to you. It's from the Dalai Lama, and it says, friendship. We have genuine friendship when it is based on true human feeling, a feeling of closeness in which there is a sense of sharing and connectedness. I would like to call this type of friendship genuine because it is not affected by the increase or decrease of the individual's wealth, status, or power. The factor that sustains that friendship is whether or not the two people have mutual feelings of love and affection. Genuine human friendship is on the basis of human affection, irrespective of your position. Therefore, the more you show concern about the welfare and rights of others, the more you are a genuine friend, and the more you remain open and sincere, then ultimately more benefits will come to you. If you forget or do not bother about others, then eventually you will lose your own benefit. So a friend gave that to me recently, and I just thought you could put it somewhere in your center.
Thank you so
Mhm.
much.
Okay, so maybe before names we think about our motive. And this is Therese, by the way. She's the new director here. And it's this lovely room. This room here. So okay, let's just think about what His Holiness said about love and affection for all beings. Because that's the goal of Dharma, isn't it? I mean, one of the goals is to increase, or maybe the ultimate goal is actually to increase our affection for each other and our respect for each other and our care for each other. Because if we could genuinely love everyone in our lives, whether we know them or not, and that kind of love, the real love, is a love that's not based on conditioning. Whether or not I get what I want or I need, whether or not I hear praise or blame, whether or not someone harms me or hurts me. And although this is very difficult, it is the enduring type of love that His Holiness talks about. Because in that world, there would be no war, and people would care about each other more than their own need for collecting power and wealth. And we could have a world where people share what they have, and we wouldn't have a tiny percent of super wealthy people and many, many poor people. And, when we go to poorer countries, we see that there is genuine friendship among other people. I mean, they still have their issues as well, but there tends to be more of an open sense of connectedness. And our industrialized society is sort of, in some places, it's not as easy to feel warmth for everyone, because we have so much fear now. And that's reasonable. There's a lot of harm that goes around the world. So, but anyway, I think of this ideal of love for all sentient beings. Like we feel in the presence of great beings. And it doesn't have anything to do with how intelligent we are, how much Dharma we understand, how much anything we understand. Because genuine human affection is something everybody has. So let's just have a wish that by being together, we can, even though we might be talking about emptiness and different types of things, that really our underlying motivation is just to improve the connection between all beings and the love and compassion between all beings. And we always include that in order to really do that, we could possibly go beyond our own small-mindedness and attain the state of a Buddha. And so we'll motivate our weekend together to exploring the possibility of learning how and generating a type of love that goes beyond mundane appearances and can absorb hurts and harms and be rooted in forgiveness and understanding that when someone harms me, it's only because they're hurting themselves. And if they weren't hurting, they wouldn't harm. And so when we can begin to understand the root causes of disharmony, then we can begin to heal it. So, yeah. And so this practice of Chinrezi is a practice that develops that in ourselves, because that is the quality of Chinrezi. And of course, we all know that Chinrezi is the Dalai Lama's, the form of the Dalai Lama's subtle body. He is Chinrezi. So let's just invoke with us, those of us who are familiar with His Holiness the Dalai Lama, his presence here, and his and not only His Holiness, but all of these great realized beings that are part of His Holiness's mandala, the Tibetan yogis and inner beings who have absolutely no malice for those. I mean, even people who tortured them in prison, they never wanted to feel harm or revenge or anything like that. They only felt compassion for these people who were so ignorant they were causing harm. And so we make that goal and that wish to become like that. Okay, so when are we supposed to end? At 8:30?
9.
9. Oh, we have 2 hours.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, good. All right, so if you don't mind, maybe we'll start with the Zoom people. I recognize some friends. But can we just go around and can you all see? You can't really see, can you, the people there? So yeah, so let's start up. There's I think the first row is just here. So then the second row, let's start with, let's see if I can get the names. No. So I can't see the names. So there we go. Okay, okay, so let's start. What does that say? Is it Jan or Jen? Yeah.
Me, Jen?
Yeah.
Yeah, hi.
Can we turn it up, the volume a little bit? Yeah. And where are you?
I'm in London.
I remember you.
Yeah, I joined weekend ago.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, well, thank you. So you want to do some more then, do you?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, and next to Jen on my, so I guess what we'll do this weekend is we might do the sadhana one more time, or we might do bits and pieces of it, and then you know, do some meditation as well. That's okay. Yeah. So I'm just curious why you requested the mahamudra. Was that anybody's special request? Is that you, Lars, or?
I don't remember.
I think you like mahamudra.
I like Mahamudra.
Yeah.
It comes just naturally to me. So I guess, but I think that was something that Felix from Longku said that's what you wanted to do on this tour in Switzerland.
Oh,
And I said, that's absolutely fine with me and
Yeah.
with us, because since I joined Laksam, we haven't had any Mahamudra
yeah.
teaching. So
Yeah. Well,
perfect.
these will just kind of be probably just very basic introductory bits, but I just also wanted to say that when you do Mahamudra practice in connection with Guru Yoga, what I've discovered is it's far more powerful. And if you, my first Mahamudra teaching, although there was no Mahamudra teaching, was from Lama Zopa Rinpoche in 1981. And although Lama Yeshe always taught mahamudra, it didn't matter what the subject was, he was always teaching, what you might call Dzogchen or mahamudra. That was just who he was. He couldn't help but do that. And he asked Lama Zopa to teach these mahamudra teachings. I think Lama knew that he wasn't going to live that long, and he was very keen on kind of dispensing everything to everybody that they would need for the rest of their lives. And so he wanted to give the 6 yogas of Naropa teaching. And but in order to do that, he wanted everyone to have mahamudra practice first. So he at Chenrezig Institute and at Vajrapani Institute in California, Chenrezig is in Australia. At Lama Yeshe's bidding, Lama Zopa came and did these month-long mahamudra classes. And at the time, Geshe Tekchok was teaching at the priory up in Ulverston, which was Manjushri Institute. So that was going on already there, and probably Geshe Jampa Gyatso might have already been at Lama Tsongkhapa Institute. So they were probably getting something like that there, because, and maybe he taught it there as well, because Geshe Jampa Gyatso, because His Holiness, when Lama Yeshe actually taught the 6 yogas, he did it in California and at Lama Tsongkhapa Institute, so that all the Europeans could go there. But the reason I'm telling you this is because we had this month, a full 4 weeks of teachings with Lama Zopa, and every night, he came every night, and all it was every single night was Guru Yoga. So, and he ended up never even giving any teachings on mahamudra, except to 3 people at the airport when he was leaving. And so I think you can get the transcript of that teaching. In fact, I know you can, because I transcribed it years ago from the Lama Yeshe Wisdom Archive. And it's just interesting, Rinpoche has changed a lot over the years, but to see his teachings on Guru Yoga, and every night it was just on and on and on about the benefits of Guru Yoga, and how and he talked about, one of the things he talked about was the pores of the Guru, which is anybody who's we're all the disciples, even the dog of the Guru, and that how the Guru is such an important figure in our lives, in our practice, that even if we that the other students are equally as powerful. And I can still remember him saying, making offerings to the pores of the Guru is more merit than making offerings to all the 3 times Buddhas. So we have to remember that in our interactions with our fellow students here, that we're all great objects of potential energy for enlightenment. And so that encourages us to be respectful and generous and patient and like that, because we're all part of this mandala. And I know that Guru Yoga is a sort of a hot topic and is open to a lot of misinterpretation. And I know that I think it's somewhat problematic in the West and even in the East, because we don't understand enough about it. And so when we take the teaching on, seeing the Guru as Buddha, then we can, especially if we get involved with the teacher too soon, and if that particular teacher, because the teachers are still, most of them, even though we see them as Buddha, because that brings us the blessing, but we don't necessarily have to, we can't always see every action done as pure, although Lama Zopa says that, that we should see the actions of the Guru, every action done as pure. But if we're unable to do that, and we see what appears to be harm coming from a Guru, there's a lot of controversy been going around that for the last couple of years. And And I think that the way I try to understand it is that we only have our relative truth that we understand, you know, and if things, and maybe it's true that a teacher that's manifesting harmful behavior, I can't say what, maybe it was done with the right motivation, but I think for us in the West, we have to take everything on face value. You know, we don't live in a world where we can accept that kind of behavior. And how I think about it is in relationship to our bodhisattva vows, because one of our jobs as bodhisattvas is to our behavior should conform with the rules of the society that we live in. And so if someone's not behaving that way, then it's a mistake, I think, for us to just take that and not say anything about it. And we need to speak up. And so that's kind of the relative guru. And so we don't need to get too, what am I going to say? We have to understand the traditional teachings on Guru Yoga within the cultural context in where they come. And because the real point of Guru Yoga is not to be can I say, caught up, I suppose, in that person's personality and the person. Because the real object of Guru Yoga is to connect you with your own inner spiritual core, you know, and that the Guru is a vehicle for us to connect. Guru Yoga is a practice through which we connect with our inner being. That because of our ignorance and upbringing and how we understand who we are, that Buddha nature, everybody here has studied. It's kind of makes my job easier. We all have Buddha nature, and so, but we all know that we don't recognize that. And so, what the Guru does is he or she, by making that connection through a practice like this, helps us to experience and uncover and create the cause to experience our true nature. And it's as simple as that. And so, and saying the mantra is also a way of connecting closer with the essence of the Guru, which is the essence of our own essence and the essence of our Buddha nature, or our essence of mahamudra, however there's different names for it. And so that's why we do Guru Yoga. And last time, I did that whole, 6 talks on Tantra. And when we're told about the heart of Tantra is Guru Yoga, it's because every single tantric practice is a Guru Yoga. And it's not because we're trying to create superheroes outside of ourselves. It's to connect ourselves with our own inner big loving mind. And so maybe we should just do it. And then because the more we do this practice, the closer we come to the Dalai Lama and Chenrezig. And it's a very wonderful feeling to feel this great compassion that comes from doing Chenrezig practice. And the mantra itself and the practice itself helps our subtle nervous system to begin to vibrate with that energy of Om Mani Padme Hum. And you can see that it's the favorite practice of the Tibetans, and there's a reason why. It's very simple, and you can feel it pretty quickly. Nice and warm in here. So let's just do it, huh? Is that okay? Does anybody have a question before we start? I guess most people have done it before. This is going to be a nice, easy weekend. I don't have to like explain it all. So we just start with taking refuge and generating bodhicitta. I guess I can read the front page. It says, and you can all read it with me. We can read it all together. To my spiritual master, Avalokiteshvara, the full moon-like essence of the Buddha's vast compassion, and the radiant right nectar of their all-inspiring strength, I pay my deep respect. Now disseminate to all other beings the standard practice of this profound yoga. The root of every inspiration and powerful attainment lies solely with the spiritual master. As such, he has been praised in both sutras and tantras more than once. He is of fundamental importance because of the basis of achieving everlasting happiness, is requesting him to teach the undistorted path. Thinking of him as being inseparable from the specific meditation deity with whom you feel a special affinity, you should visualize the two as one. The vitality of the Mahayana tradition comes from compassion, love, and the altruistic aspiration to attain enlightenment in order to effectively help all creatures become free from their suffering. Moreover, the importance of compassion is emphasized throughout all the stages of development. Therefore, if you wish to combine Avalokiteshvara, meditational deity of compassion, with your own root guru, first gather fine offerings in a suitable place, sitting on a comfortable seat in an especially virtuous state of mind. Take refuge, generate an enlightened motive of the awakening mind, and meditate on the four immeasurable thoughts. So we can imagine His Holiness in the space in front of us. That's why I gave you a photo of him. And his essence is Chenrezig, and in his heart we visualize Chenrezig with a Hri and a mantra at the heart of Chenrezig, going around the Hri and mantra on a moon disk. And then we always start by taking a moment to, we already did some kind of a motivation, but I think it's always helpful to follow the prescription and visualize our father on our right and our mother on our left, and our friends and family around us, and people who irritate us in front of us. And when we think about our parents and our grandparents and our friends and our family, I think it makes it easy to think about their kindness and the gratitude that we feel to them. Even though it might not have been always wonderful, but we did learn a lot, and we benefited greatly from our relationships with our family and our parents. And we can also, while we remember His Holiness, maybe think about all of our teachers and remember their kindness. And we just take a moment to cultivate a sense of gratitude for what we have and our perfect human rebirth, and the fact that in this day and age, we have met the Dharma, and how wonderful is that? Now we have conditions to practice, how wonderful is that? And we have friends, how wonderful is that? And then we allow ourselves also to think about or feel, our love for these friends and family. And entertain the idea of allowing that affection and love to go out to all the sentient beings, and particularly those people we have difficulties with. And then we take a moment to consider the plight of most sentient beings, including ourselves. I mean, our level of dis-ease and disharmony is very small compared to most people in the world, and most animals and beings of the six realms. And bring to mind a memory or an image of someone who's really suffering. Thinking about the climate refugees and the war refugees and the people in the Ukraine and the people in Syria and Afghanistan and still Iraq and, just the girls in Iran and just people everywhere, wishing them, just letting that touch our hearts. So that, if possible, it's not something we think, but something we feel. And then wishing that we could, with a magic wand, just make the world perfect and everyone have what they need to be healthy and happy, and even wishing, understanding the nature of enlightenment, wishing all beings to have that. And at this moment in time, my ability to help sentient beings is so limited that I make the aspiration to become like the Dalai Lama, to become enlightened, and so we call on Jinrei, His Holiness, to help us. And so that is how we enter into refuge. Taking refuge, turning our minds in the direction of enlightenment, knowing that it could take, many lifetimes, but still it's the most worthwhile pursuit for this life. What could be more wonderful than creating the cause for enlightenment? As much as possible, day after day after day. Knowing that we can, no matter what we do, if we do it with the bodhicitta motivation, we are creating the cause for enlightenment. And what that would mean. for all sentient beings, if there would be another Buddha, even if it's me. And for that, we need a teacher, and we need to study, we need to practice. And this is a very special practice that brings us closer to His Holiness, because He wrote it Himself for us. So we're going to like send a little message out and say, look, Holiness, here we are. We're doing this little practice. Thank you so much. And just know that he connects. He has a mind that feels when we do this practice. And that not only does it help us, but it also helps create the long life for His Holiness, because the best offering we can offer to our teachers is to practice. And so we're going to start. I think for the refuge, we'll do the Sanskrit, and then the rest we'll do the, if you see the text, what we do is the English in italics, because we, those of you who are at Jamyang, you realize we chant this in the way that Kadrila chanted it in France. Yeah. Namo Guru Ve Namo Daya Namo Dharmaya Namo Sangha Namo Namo Daya Namo Daya Namo Sangha. And so we can imagine a white light coming into our body, filling our whole body with light, purifying all of our mental and physical and subtle obstacles to enlightenment. And then we imagine yellow light rays filling up our bodies and mind with all the conditions we need to understand the path to Buddhahood and to follow it and to gain all the realizations. Some technical things going on here, so that's all right. Just keep visualizing the light rays and nectars coming in. Is everything okay, Lars?
Yeah, just no electricity.
Yeah. Okay. And when our bodies are filled with this light, then we imagine it goes out from our pores and touches all sentient beings. And this light isn't also is warm. And it's warm with our love and our care. So again, if we need to, we bring to mind to generate that feeling, someone that we love and we care about. And once that feeling is there, then we just imagine that that goes out and touches every single sentient being and surrounds them in perfect care and love. Like a Buddha would. So since this is a mahamudra weekend, if you can, then we also take a moment to recognize the I that appears to exist from its own side and let that relax. So that we merge our mind with just the experience of emanating this light out to all sentient beings. But without it being so much I'm doing it, but that it's just emanating from this state of pure awareness. And then we'll generate bodhicitta. So we just continue doing what we're doing because this is generating bodhicitta. And since most of you are kind of older, been around, we can just do it in Tibetan because I think a lot of people really enjoy that. But we'll do a little bit slower than usual and see if you can continue while you're doing it to feel the nectars and rays pouring into you from, His Holiness Chinrezig and then going out to all sentient beings. Sangye chodang soki chonam la Chanchu badu daki kyab suchi dagi jen soki pe sonam ki drola banjir sangye drupasho Sangye chodam sogi chonam chanchu badu dagi kyab suchi dagi jen soki pe sonam ki Drola Panjir Sangye Drupashu Sangye Chodang Sogi Chodang Chanchu Bardu Dagi Kyab Suchi Dagi Jenso Kibe Sonam Drola Banjir Sangye Drupashu. And continuing with the inner experience, if you can, of the lights going into you and out to all sentient beings, we recite 4 measurables. So I think what I'll do is we'll just recite each one once, but we'll pause after each time and allow the meaning of the words to kind of filter in as you continue to breathing in the we'll use yellow light from His Holiness and out to all sentient beings, just sort of meditating the meaning of that, just kind of wanting to feel it with your heart, you know. May all sentient beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. So we just stop there and take maybe 3 breaths thinking about that. 3 or 4. And the next one, may all sentient beings be freed from suffering and the causes of suffering. And then, the next one, may all sentient beings be inseparable from the happiness that is free from suffering. And may all sentient beings abide in equanimity, free from desire for friends and hatred for enemies. And then having established, you know, a virtuous mind now, we can just go through the practice. After I have a drink of water. Everywhere may ground be pure, free of all kinds of roughness. Lapis lazuli's nature, smooth as the palm of one's hand. May human and divine offerings, both actual and mental, Samantabhadra's offerings, fill the entire space with clouds. And so then we imagine all the skies filled with huge offerings and recite the offering cloud mantra. Om Namo Bhagavate Vajrasattva Pramadana Tathāgataya Arhate Samyak Sambuddhaya Tayata Om Vajre Vajre Mahavajre Ateja Vajra Mahavija Vajra Mahabodhi Chitta Mahabodhi Mandapasam Kramana Vajra Sawa Karma Avarana Vishtana Vajra Soha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vajra Sawa Pramadana Tathakataya Arate Samyak Sam Buddhaya Tayata Om Vajre Vajre Mahavajre Mahateja Vajre Mahavija Vajra Mahabodhi Chitta Vajra Mahabodhi Mandapasam Kramana Vajra Sawa Karma Avarana Vishodana Vajra Soha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vajrasawa Pramadana Tathagata Arhate Samyak Sambuddhaya Jayata Om Vajre Vajre Mahavajre Mahateja Vajre Mahavija Vajre Mahabodhi Chitta Vajre Mahabodhi Mandapasam Kramana Vajra Sawakam Avarana Vishodana Vajra Soha. And then we just read the next bit. By the power of the truth of the three rare sublime ones, the blessings of all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, the great wealth of the completed two collections, and the sphere of phenomena being pure and inconceivable, may these piles of clouds of offerings arising through the transformation by the Bodhisattvas, Arya, Samantabhadra, Marjushi, and so forth, unimaginable and inexhaustible, equaling the sky, arise and in the eyes of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of the 10 directions be received. So this is the same tune. This is how Kajula did it. And it's just from like the Lama Chopa, you'll recognize the tune. And it's the same one all the way through. And I'll just let you know that, Lama Zopa has really encouraged us to chant our practices, because he says you go slower, you get a chance to meditate on the meaning, and chanting opens your heart and lifts your spirits. And so rather than just, the Tibetans chant everything. And so it's, I was able to, with Kajula's blessing, make this weekend chanted in English. And I'm glad you're all so well versed in English. And I think everybody on the screen is, well, most of them are from England anyway. And it's really nice to have you people back that were here before. I appreciate it. So then we go. In Dharmakaya's great blissful space, amidst clouds of wonderful offerings, upon sparkling jewel snow lie enthroned, on blooming lotus, sun and moon seat, sits Chenrezig, compassion's treasure, as a monk with saffron-colored robes, Vajradhara, kind in all three ways, O holy Losangtins in Gyatso, radiant with fair skin and smiling face, right hand at heart mudra gives dharma, holds lotus stem, supports book and sword, your left hand rest holds thousand-spoked wheel, you're clothed in amongst 3 saffron robes, you are crowned with Pandit's golden hat. So, you can just listen if you want, but you just set up the visualization, right? Skanda, sensory spheres, senses, objects, limbs, mandala of 5 Buddha families, Bodhisattvas, wrathful protectors, encircled by 5-colored halo. You sit in the full Vajra posture, sends forth emanations to tame minds. Within his heart sits great Chenrezig, 1 face upper, 2 hands, palms touching. Lower hand holds crystal mala lotus, adorned with jewels and heavenly raiment. Antelope skin draped o'er left shoulder, seated on silver moon and lotus, But you don't have to be quiet.
The problem is we have another text.
We have the
The
text and
text is
the version
slightly
of
different.
it.
That's why.
Yeah,
We cannot see.
which doesn't fit the meter, sadly.
Oh, I didn't send you this one.
No, I can't remember. It's a long time ago we planned. So
Oh,
it's a different.
you just have the English then.
We have the regular translation.
Emits brilliant colored light and all the thing. Okay, well, we'll just read it then. I'll send you it tonight in case we ever do it again. I thought I sent it to you. That's too bad I don't have my phone. I could send it to you now. Oh, of course it doesn't fit the metering because it's all lots of words. Okay, well, we'll just read what we're here then. The white syllable Hri, a concentration being at his heart, emits brilliant colored light in all the 10 directions. On my master's brow is a white Om, within his throat a red Ah, at his heart a blue Hum, from which many lights shine out in myriad directions, inviting the 3 jewels of refuge to dissolve into him, transforming him into the collected essence of the objects of refuge. Your body, your liberating body is fully adorned with all the signs of a Buddha. Your melodious speech, complete with all 60 rhythms, flows without hesitation. Your vast, profound mind, filled with wisdom and compassion, is beyond all conception. I prostrate to the wheel of these 3 secret adornments of your body, speech, and mind. Material offerings of my own and others, the actual objects and those I visualize, body, wealth, and all virtues amassed throughout the 3 times, I offer to you upon visualized oceans like clouds of Samantabhadra's offerings. My mind being oppressed by the stifling darkness of ignorance, I've done many wrongs against reasons and vows. Whatever mistakes I have made in the past, with a deep sense of regret, I pledge never to repeat them, and without reservation, I confess everything to you within the unobservable. So then we stop for a moment and just think about the things about ourselves that we would like to change, and also the things we've done in the past that we feel sorry about, without a sense of guilt, but just an honest sense of, as if we'd eaten some poison and wish we hadn't done that, And then rejoicing. From the depths of my heart, I rejoice in the enlightening deeds of the sublime masters and in the virtuous actions past, present, and future performed by myself and others, and by extraordinary and exalted beings of the 3 sacred traditions. So then we can stop and rejoice. Most of you know Lama Zopa. He goes, how wonderful it is, how wonderful it is. And then we keep going. I request you to awaken every living being from the sleep of ordinary and instinctive defilements with the divine music of the Dharma's pure truth, resounding with the melody of profoundness and peace, in accordance with the dispositions of your various disciples. I entreat you to firmly establish your feet upon the indestructible Vajra throne in the indissoluble state of Ivam, until every sentient being gains the calm breath of joy in the state of final realization, unfettered by the extremes of worldliness or tranquil liberation. I dedicate fully my virtuous actions of all the 3 times, so that I may receive continuous care from a master and attain full enlightenment for the benefit of all, through accomplishing my prayers, the supreme deed of Samantabhadra. I guess we'll just say this too. The ground anointed with perfume, strewn with flowers, adorned with Mount Meru, the 4 continents, the sun and the moon. I imagine this as a Buddha field and offer it. May all living beings enjoy this pure land. This offering I make of a precious jeweled mandala, the moon together with other pure offerings of wealth, and the virtues we have collected throughout the 3 times with our body, speech, and mind. O my masters, my yidams, and the 3 precious jewels, I offer it all to you with unwavering faith. Accepting these out of your boundless compassion, send forth to me waves of your inspiring strength. Idam Guru Ratna Mandala Karnayachayami. from the heart, from the Hri in the heart of Avalokiteshvara, seated in the heart of my venerable master, flow streams of rays and nectars and rays of the 5 colors, penetrating the crown of my head, eliminating all obscurations, endowing me with both common and elusive powerful attainments. So then this is, every great Lama has a name mantra, and we recite this name to bring us closer to the realizations that guru has. And so, so we can just do what it says. Imagine that the rainbows and nectars are pouring into us and blessing us with all the stages of the path to enlightenment. Oma Guru Vajradhara Bhagavraga Manjushri Vajrinda Sumati Jana Shishana Dara Samudra Shri Vajra Sarvasiddhi Om. Oma Guru Vajradhara Vajraga Manjushri Vajrinda Sumati Jana Shishana Dara Samudra Shri Vajra Sarvasiddhi Om. Oma Guru Vajradhara Bhagavajra Manjushri Vajrinda Sumati Jana Shishana Dara Samudra Shri Vajra Sarvasiddhi Om. Oma Guru Vajradhara Bhagavajra Manjushri Vajrinda Sumati Jana Shishana Dara Samudra Shri Vajra Sarvasiddhi Om. Oma Guru Vajradhara Vajraga Manjushri Vajrinda Sumati Jana Shishana Dara Samudra Shri Vajra Sarvasiddhi Om. Oma Guru Vajradhara Vajraga Manjushri Vajrinda Sumati Jana Shishana Dara Samudra Shri Vajra Sarvasiddhi Om. Oma Guru Vajradhara Vajraga Manjushri Vajrinda Sumati Jana Shishana Dara Samudra Shri Vajra Sarvasiddhi Om. Oma Guru Vajradhara Vajraga Manjushri Vajrinda Sumati Jana Shishana Dara Samudra Shri Vajra Sarvasiddhi Om. Oma Guru Vajradhara Vajraga Manjushri Vajrinda Sumati Jana Shishana Dara Samudra Shri Vajra Sarvasiddhi Om. Oma Guru Vajradhara Vajraga Manjushri Vajrinda Sumati Jana Shishana Dara Samudra Shri Vajra Sarvasiddhi Om. Oma Guru Vajradhara Vajraga Manjushri Vajrinda Sumati Jana Shishana Dara Samudra Shri Vajra Sarvasiddhi Om. Oma Guru Vajradhara Vajraga Manjushri Vajrinda Sumati Jana Shishana Dara Samudra Shri Vajra Sarvasiddhi Om. Oma Guru Vajradhara Vajraga Manjushri Vajrinda Sumati Jana Shishana Dara Samudra Shri Vajra Sarvasiddhi Om. Oma Guru Vajradhara Vajraga Manjushri Vajrinda Sumati Jana Shishana Dara Samudra Shri Vajra Sarvasiddhi Om. Oma Guru Vajradhara Vajraga Manjushri Vajrinda Sumati Jana Shishana Dara Samudra Shri Vajra Sarvasiddhi Om. Oma Guru Vajradhara Vajraga Manjushri Vajrinda Sumati Jana Shishana Dara Samudra Shri Vajra Sarvasiddhi Om. Oma Guru Vajradhara Vajraga Manjushri Vajrinda Sumati Jana Shishana Dara Samudra Shri Vajra Sarvasiddhi Om. Oma Guru Vajradhara Vajraga Manjushri Vajrinda Sumati Jana Shishana Dara Samudra Shri Bhadra Sarvasiddhi Oma Guru Vajradhara Vajraga Manjushri Vajranda Sumati Jana Shishana Dara Samudra Shri Vajra Sarvasiddhi Oma Guru Vajradhara Vajraga Manjushri Vajranda Sumati Jana Shishana Dara Samudra Shri Vajra Sarvasiddhi Om. Let me just rest for a moment. Again, dipping into that experience of emptiness of myself and all phenomena. Just letting go. And feeling the whole body pervaded by this blessing of rainbow light. That I can feel going down my arms and my legs and filling up my whole body. So that my body becomes more like light and less like flesh and blood. And almost feel as if this light is tingling, like little sparks of light all through your body that are the love of His holiness. And so that we feel loved and protected in all our lives by Chinrezi. Just have faith. Or another word is, if faith's too difficult, just have the intention that it's being there. And then completely relax. And as much as possible, in fact, you can just listen if that's helpful. Then we review the graduated path of enlightenment. And as we review that, we imagine still that these blessings are coming in from His holiness in the form of these multicolored lights, penetrating our whole body and purifying our obstacles, removing our hindrances, and giving us the enthusiasm to persevere in these dark times. Bestow on me your blessings to be devoted to my Master with the purest thoughts and actions, gaining confidence that you, compassionate Holy Master, are the basis of temporary everlasting bliss, for you elucidate the true path free from all deception, and embody the totality of refuges past number. Bestow on me your blessings to live a life of Dharma, undistracted by the illusory preoccupations of this life. For well I know that these leisures and endowments can never be surpassed by countless treasures of vast wealth, and that this precious form, once attained, cannot endure. For at any moment of time it may be easily destroyed. Bestow on me your blessings to cease actions of non-virtue, and to accomplish wholesome deeds by being always mindful of the causes and effects from kind and harmful acts, while revering the precious jewels as the ultimate source of refuge and the most trustworthy protection from the unendurable fears of unfortunate rebirth states. Bestow on me your blessings to practice the 3 higher trainings, motivated by firm renunciation gained from clear comprehension, that even the prosperity of the Lord of the Devas is merely a deception, like a siren's alluring spell. Bestow on me your blessings to master the oceans of practice, cultivating immediately the supreme enlightened motivation, by reflecting on the predicament of all mother sentient beings who have nourished me with kindness from beginningless time, and are now tortured while ensnared with one extreme or other, either on the wheel of suffering or in tranquil liberation. Bestow on me your blessings to generate the yoga, combining mental quiescence with penetrative insight, in which the 100,000-fold splendor of voidness, forever free from both extremes, reflects without obstruction in the clear mirror of the immutable meditation. Bestow on me your blessings to observe in strict accordance all the vows and words of honor that form the root of powerful attainments. Having entered through the gate of extremely profound Tantra, the kindness of my all-proficient master, bestow on me your blessings to attain in this lifetime the blissful great seal of the union of body and wisdom, through severing completely all my creative karmic energy with wisdom's sharp sword of the non-duality of bliss and voidness. So now this is the heart of the Guru Yoga. So my Supreme Master, requested in this way, now blissfully descends to the crown of my head and dissolves into indestructible drop. And then we stop there. So we do the practice of the Guru entering the heart. So we can imagine from His Holiness's brow chakra, white nectars and rays fill our body and purifying our body and all the obstacles created that obstruct that through harms we've done to ourselves and others that create disease and sickness and pain in our body and make it unserviceable for meditation. And we think my body's become oneness with Chinrezig's body, Chinrezig holiness. And then red nectars and rays come from the throat of His Holiness into our throat, purifying all of our obstacles and to do with our speech and our subtle body. And we experience the blessings of Chinrezig's speech. And my speech becomes one with Chinrezig's speech. And then dark blue nectars and rays from His Holiness's heart, from the heart of Chinrezig, comes into my heart and purifies all of my mental obstructions to experiencing the union of my mind with the Guru's mind, with the Dharmakaya mind. Oneness with Evam. And then all three together, purifying all the subtle stains of grasping and inherent existence that are there. And then the image, the body of His Holiness, dissolves into Chinrezig at his heart. And then the Chinrezig dissolves into the Hri in his heart. And that Hri dissolves into the drop at the top of the Hri. Or into just the Hri just dissolves into light. Which is the essence of the subtle wind and mind of Chinrezig. And this very bright white drop comes to the crown of my head. And slowly descends from the crown to the throat and sets in the center of the 8-petal heart chakra. And then I dissolve into emptiness as my mind becomes oneness with His Holiness's holy mind. And then moved by the winds of bodhicitta, my master reemerges on a moon and a lotus. And his heart is Chinrezi. And if that's kind of complicated, you can just see Chinrezi in your heart. And the heart of Chinrezi is the letter Hri, which is also on a moon in a lotus, encircled by Om Mani Padme Hum. And as we recite Om Mani Padme Hum, then the nectars flow from the Hri and the mantra and eliminate all of our mental, subtle mental and gross physical obstacles to realizing emptiness, mahamudra, and every disease that we have, and expanding all of my understanding and knowledge and insights of Buddha. And so this is how we receive the blessings of the victorious ones' teachings of the Buddhas and their children. And so as we recite Om Mani Padme Hum, first we see our body filling up with this rainbow light. But then after a little while, we feel ourselves are full and the light goes out from all of our pores and touches all the environment and all the difficulties with our environment. So we can actually think about, all the problems, the global climate change and everything, and all the beings that will be affected by it. And it is helping to heal all those imbalances everywhere. And ultimately, it's creating not only healing our planet, but we're creating a pure land. We're transforming it all into Chinrezi's pure land, and all the sentient beings are becoming Chinrezi. And so we imagine this is happening. And as we do that, we also feel our own sense of self becoming less and less concrete. And we become more and more like light and more in the nature of emptiness and bliss by identifying with his holiness and allowing our minds to just sort of let go and flow with the mantra. And so this way it transforms our appearance, our speech, our thinking into the state of Chinrezi. And so we experience the body, speech, and mind of a Buddha. So we'll recite the mantra together, chanting it for a little while, and then quietly to ourselves. Yeah. Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme, 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 mani padme, Om mani padme, padme, Om mani 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 padme, Om padme, Om mani padme, Om mani padme, Om mani padme. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. So we just imagine still these light rays going out. And these light rays are motivated by love and compassion. Because if there was more of these feelings and experiences in the world, we wouldn't have the problems that we have. With more love, there's less fear. With more compassion, there's less hatred. So we cultivate these feelings within our own heart and then share them in the form of colored lights, filling up this room, filling up your room on Zoom, and going out and through our cities and towns and countries around the whole globe. Just imagining as we allow ourselves to feel our own soothing feelings, so that we can soothe the hearts of all beings everywhere as Chinrezi. At least aspire to that. And the more we allow ourselves to feel this love, the easier it is to let go into emptiness. And then we relax our meditation and we make a little mental note to ourselves that as much as possible for the next few days or for the rest of our lives, feeling this sense of Chinrezi at my heart. And as I feel this, allow myself to remember to cultivate experiences of love and compassion. And we'll talk about that more, but for now, let's just read the dedication. In the glorious 100,000-fold radiance of the youthful moon of wholesome practice, from the blue jasmine garden of the victorious treasure mind's method of truth, may the seeds of explanation and accomplishment germinate and flower across the vast earth. May the ensuing auspiciousness beautify everything until the limit of the universe. by flying high above the three realms, the never vanishing great jeweled banner of religious and secular rule, laden with millions of virtues and perfect accomplishments. May myriad wishes, benefit, and bliss pour down, having banished afar the dark weight of this era's degeneration. Across the extent of earth's sapphire, held by celestial maiden, living creatures overflow with spontaneous gaiety and joy. In the significant encompassing brilliance of happiness and bliss, ensured or protected by the power of your affectionate care, may I never be parted from you throughout the rosaries of my lives. May I proceed directly with an ease beyond effort into the great city of unification, the all-powerful cosmic state itself. By the force of the immaculate compassion and the victorious ones and their children, may everything adverse be banished for eternity throughout the universe. May all favorable omens become increasingly auspicious, and may whatever is of virtue in the round of this existence, liberation, flourish and grow brighter like the new moon waxing full. I don't know what dedication prayers you have there. Do you have any more, or is that where it ends? In Sarah?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's good enough, but do you all know the long life prayer for His Holiness?
Yeah.
We'll just do that. Great. Well, let's just think to ourselves. You probably all know this anyway. Jangchu Sancho Rinpoche Ma Ke Pana Ke Kyorchi Ke Panyam Pame Panyam Gone Gondu Pel Barsho. A supreme jewel bodhicitta that has not arisen, arise and grow. And that which has arisen not diminish, but increase more and more. Then we'll do His Holiness in Tibetan and English. Gangri rawe kowen shinkam de pandan de wa malu chwe shenre ze wan tenzin gatsoyi shape site bardu ten yurchi. And the land is circled by snow mountains. You are the source of all happiness and good. All powerful Chinrezi Tenzin Gyatso, please remain until samsara ends. Of course, he's in the whole planet, not this. I think there's a new version of this. But we can also dedicate to the long lives of all of our teachers, and for the end of the wars and the famines and the climate crisis, and bring on compassionate governing bodies to help all the beings, and not just the human beings, but all the beings. And sealing with emptiness and rejoicing. Okay, that's the Chinrezi practice. And I have this, I don't know if you can make a copy of it, but it's what they gave us when we were in France. And it's pictures of, I think we did it. There's a picture of His Holiness and Chinrezig and the Kri and the mantra. So I don't know if I give it to you, maybe you can all take a picture of it or something.
Yeah, we can probably upload it. Either take a picture or maybe scan it.
Yeah, okay, well then I'll leave it with you.
Yeah,
And what's our schedule? We didn't talk about that. What are we doing tomorrow?
that will be mahamudra
I know, but what time?
time.
Yeah.
Starting at
And 10 to what?
10 to 4.
But what are the breaks? 10 to 12, and then what's
Yeah.
that? 10 to 12, and
and
then,
then hour break, and then starting again, and a little break in the afternoon.
yeah, so we'll do, 10 to 12, we'll probably have a break in the middle.
Yeah,
And then, yeah, and then Sunday, is it just morning or is it all day Sunday?
it's till I think you said 3 o'clock. Yeah,
3 o'clock. So it's 10 to 12 and then 1 to 3.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds good. And Okay, well then we'll probably be doing a combination of this, something like this and Mahamudra. Because it's kind of good to have a support for your emptiness practice, you know. And also this creates the cost for it. I mean, it's a lifelong journey to trying to work with Mahamudra. And I think we'll do some physical exercises a little bit as well, because Mahamudra is like, it's not something it's not an intellectual thing. It's and the more you can open up the body, the easier it is to relax into that open space, you know. So we may do a little bit of Qigong tomorrow or something. I mean, I usually like to see who's here before I figure out what we're going to do. So I'm not sure what we'll do tomorrow, but it'll be around that, and some mixture of talks and meditations, but probably just short meditations, I think, you know. I mean, because and maybe what we'll do is we'll alternate some Mahamudra meditation with some mantra recitation to give us something to, I don't know, I'll see. Anyway, so good night, and good night out there, all of you. It's really nice to see you again. Thank you for coming. And yeah, so this will be a little bit different than what we did at Jamyang for Jen and Jill and Karen and Jeff, but we'll see how it goes. And do you want to say something?
Yeah, I want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts and really extends our huge gratitude for coming to our center and leading us through this wonderful sadhana.
Yeah,
And if you do send me the sadhana, the one that you referred to,
yeah,
I will upload it to the webpage, or see it uploaded to, and as well as the pictures.
yeah,
And you also sent us something about tapping this.
yeah, the tapping.
Yeah, and it will, by tomorrow, it will be in the chat. We will have our web host, or so to speak, online host, Tara, will be here tomorrow and Sunday. And
This is something I actually put together with Nina. She was the one who made it. I told her what to do, but she put it all together. Actually, she and I put it together because we were talking about the obstacles that, like when you, you know, if you're feeling anxious or different kinds of things. And I think this will help a lot with Mahamudra meditation because it'll help your mind relax. Because Mahamudra meditation is a relaxed mind, and that's really hard to find these days, isn't it?